hidden enemy emerges. Introduction to Ebola. Ebola is a dangerous virus. It causes a severe illness called Ebola virus disease or EVD. EVD often leads to death. The virus first appeared in Africa. It spreads through close contact with infected animals or people. Understanding Ebola is vital to saving lives. Unmasking the culprit. The origins and etiology of Ebola. This deadly virus has puzzled scientists and health professionals for decades, leading to extensive research and investigation. Scientists believe Ebola comes from bats. These nocturnal creatures are thought to be the natural reservoir of the virus, harboring it without showing any symptoms. These animals carry the virus but don't get sick. This unique characteristic makes them perfect hosts, allowing the virus to persist in nature without causing an outbreak. The virus can jump from bats to other animals. This process, known as zoonotic transmission, is a critical step in the spread of Ebola. These include chimpanzees, gorillas, and monkeys. These primates are highly susceptible to the virus, often leading to severe outbreaks among their populations. Humans can get infected through contact with these infected animals. This can occur during various activities that bring humans into close proximity with wildlife. This can happen through hunting, butchering, or eating them. Traditional practices in rural areas where people rely on bushmeat for sustenance increase the risk of transmission. The virus can enter the human body through cuts, wounds, or mucous membranes when handling infected animals. Once inside, it begins to replicate rapidly, leading to the onset of symptoms. Understanding these transmission pathways is crucial for developing effective prevention strategies and reducing the risk of future outbreaks. By studying the origins and etiology of Ebola, scientists hope to uncover new ways to combat this deadly virus and protect both human and animal populations. The stealthy invasion: how Ebola infects and spreads. Ebola is a highly infectious and deadly virus that has caused several outbreaks, primarily in Africa. Understanding how it infects and spreads is crucial in controlling its impact. Ebola enters the body through broken skin or mucous membranes. These entry points are critical as they provide a direct pathway for the virus to invade the body. Broken skin can result from cuts, abrasions, or even minor injuries that we might not notice. Mucous membranes, on the other hand, are found in various parts of our body and are more vulnerable to viral entry. These are found in the eyes, nose, and mouth. The virus can easily enter through these areas, especially if they come into contact with infected fluids. For instance, touching your eyes, nose, or mouth with contaminated hands can facilitate the virus's entry. Once inside, the virus attacks cells. It specifically targets the cells of the immune system, which are supposed to protect us from infections. By attacking these cells, Ebola weakens the body's defense mechanisms, making it harder to fight off the infection. It multiplies rapidly and spreads throughout the body. The virus hijacks the host cell's machinery to replicate itself, producing thousands of new viral particles. This rapid multiplication overwhelms the body's systems, leading to severe symptoms and often fatal outcomes. Ebola spreads from person to person through direct contact with body fluids. This includes not only blood, but also other bodily fluids that can carry the virus. Direct contact means that the virus can be transmitted through touching, kissing, or any other form of close physical interaction with an infected person. These fluids include blood, vomit, saliva, and feces. Each of these fluids can contain high levels of the virus, making them highly infectious. Handling these fluids without proper protective equipment can lead to transmission of the virus. Even contact with contaminated surfaces can transmit the virus. Surfaces that have been in contact with infected fluids can harbor the virus for hours or even days. This is why disinfection and proper hygiene practices are essential in preventing the spread of Ebola. Healthcare workers must be vigilant in cleaning and disinfecting surfaces to minimize the risk of transmission. Stages of a silent killer: from infection to severe disease. Ebola infection progresses through stages. These stages range from mild to life-threatening. Initially, a person may experience flu-like symptoms. As the virus multiplies, it damages blood vessels and organs. This leads to severe bleeding, organ failure, and often death. A war within Ebola's impact on the body, also known as pathophysiology. The Ebola virus is a formidable adversary, causing widespread devastation within the human body. It is a battle that takes place on a microscopic level, but has catastrophic consequences for the infected individual. Ebola virus wreaks havoc within the body. Once it enters the bloodstream, it begins to replicate rapidly, overwhelming the body's natural defenses. The virus primarily targets the immune system, which is the body's first line of defense against infections. It targets immune cells responsible for fighting off infections. Specifically, it attacks macrophages and dendritic cells, which are crucial for initiating an immune response. By disabling these cells, Ebola effectively blinds the immune system, preventing it from recognizing and combating the virus. This weakens the body's defenses. As the immune system falters, the virus spreads unchecked, infecting more cells and causing widespread damage. The infected individual becomes increasingly vulnerable to secondary infections, which can further complicate their condition. The virus causes blood vessels to leak, leading to internal bleeding and organ damage. The endothelial cells lining the blood vessels are particularly susceptible to Ebola's destructive effects. As these cells are damaged, the integrity of the blood vessels is compromised, resulting in hemorrhaging and a loss of blood volume. Ebola also disrupts the body's ability to clot blood, which worsens internal and external bleeding. The virus interferes with the production of clotting factors, proteins essential for blood coagulation. This leads to a condition known as disseminated intravascular coagulation, where the blood's ability to clot is severely impaired, causing uncontrolled bleeding and further contributing to the patient's decline. Recognizing the enemy clinical signs and symptoms of Ebola. Early recognition of Ebola symptoms is crucial. It allows for prompt treatment and helps prevent the virus's spread. Symptoms usually appear within 2 to 21 days after infection. Early symptoms often mimic other common illnesses, making early diagnosis challenging. Fevers grip understanding Ebola's early symptoms. One of the first signs of Ebola is a sudden high fever, often accompanied by chills. Muscle aches and pains are also common in the early stages. Headaches, often severe, are another hallmark of the virus. Weakness and fatigue can be debilitating. The body under siege recognizing severe Ebola symptoms. As the virus progresses, more severe symptoms emerge. Diarrhea, often severe and watery, is a common symptom. Nausea and vomiting are frequently observed. Abdominal pain and discomfort are also common complaints. Some individuals may develop a rash. Through a scientific lens laboratory diagnosis of Ebola. Laboratory tests are essential for confirming an Ebola diagnosis. Blood tests can detect the virus's genetic material, RNA. Antigen capture enzyme-linked immunosorbent assay, or ELISA, is another test used to detect the virus. Virus isolation in cell culture can confirm the presence of the virus. Knowledge is power. The importance of understanding Ebola. Understanding Ebola is paramount in the fight against this deadly disease. By recognizing its symptoms and transmission routes, we can take steps to protect ourselves and our communities. Early diagnosis and treatment are vital for improving survival rates. Public awareness and education are crucial for preventing outbreaks. A call to action, prevention and control measures. Preventing Ebola transmission requires collective effort. Strict infection control measures are essential in healthcare settings. Safe burial practices are crucial to prevent further spread. Community engagement and education are vital for promoting preventive measures. Vaccines and experimental treatments offer hope for the future.